everybody, and welcome to perhaps what's the most important handpan lesson we're going to be doing. This is learning sheet music for the handpan. Now, as I mentioned in my very long introduction on my first lesson, lesson 0.1, there's plenty of materials online today for learning the handpan by ear or learning visually, which is great. A lot of people learn that way. For example, a lot of modern musicians, electric guitarists, drummers even, they learn by ear, and it's a wonderful skill. However, in the classical world of music, we tend to learn from sheet music. Now, although there's a temptation and a tendency to actually get into being fixed to just learning from sheet music, if you get out of that habit, or if you learn the skill by itself, learning sheet music can be really quite effective, because you can now take sheet music from anywhere and you can learn it on the handpan. It also programs your brain to be able to interpret rhythms from what you see. So you're actually developing plenty of cognitive skills this way. So in a summary, in a nutshell, learning sheet music is great, okay? And it's really going to boost not just your handpan development, but your development as a musician anyway, okay? So let's get started. All right, so with sheet music, we have 5 staves. 5 staves, they're just 5 lines. Now, each line represents a note based on its pitch. Pitch is basically how high or low it is, okay? On a piano, low to high, C to C, all the white notes, or black notes as well. Now, on the handpan, of course, every handpan is different. Some handpans are tuned to D, some handpans are tuned to C, C sharp. It's not easy to create a system which applies to, which would help every single handpan player learn from the same resource. So what I've decided is to create something called Simplified Handpan Notation. And instead of basing the notes on pitch, we're going to base them on their position on the handpan visually. Okay, so as long as you know where the handpan notes are, i.e. by doing our previous lesson 0.2, the scale, you're going to be able to interpret, be able to learn simplified handpan notation from this lesson. Okay, so the way we do this is we draw the 5 staves as you would see on any traditional handpan sheet music. All right, you draw a big circle, which is our handpan. Now, the first note, as we all know, is your ding, right in the middle. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get the middle line. Now notice there's 3 lines, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the middle line is 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw that ding, all right, like this. Don't worry too much about the color of the note, why it's colored in. We're just doing it now for visual purposes, okay? The ding is right there in the middle, 3rd line, okay? So the theory is now, I will explain this, that if the note is featured on this line later on, right, you would play the ding note. So let's finish the whole scale on this system. So if your middle note is there, you probably guess that your 2nd note, which is down here, which I play with my thumb, is going to be somewhere down here as well. Now I've decided, and I'll explain why, that we're going to put the 2nd note down here on the space, the lowest space, or you can also call that the space below the line. So to clarify, you can put notes on the line, or you can put them between the line, and they all stand for something different. Okay, they all stand for a different note. So now we've got your 1st note there, the ding, your 2nd note there, right, as you would see visually on a handpan. And now your your 3rd note, which is a left hand, is going to be here, directly to the left of that 2nd note. So you probably see where we're getting at now, okay? The 4th note, I need a 3rd hand, don't I? Your 4th note is on the right hand side, so we're going to use this empty space, okay? So that's your 4th note. 5th note, likewise, next step up, we're going to put it on this line. Now, we've only got 9 notes on this handpan, and most handpans have 9 notes, and we want to make use of all the lines. So if I was to continue going step by step, we wouldn't get to the top line. So what we're going to do is, and I'll reserve. Okay, and I'll mention that in a minute. What we're going to do is we're going to skip a space, skip a line because we can't use that line anyway here because the ding is on it. And for the sixth note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we're going to stick it here. Okay. So all we've done there is we've skipped a space. And what I was just stuttering over was I'm going to reserve that space, which we've just skipped, for something more special later on in the series. Okay. So there's your sixth note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7. Just like before, we're going step ups now. So it steps up like this. 7, 8. Okay, and then 9 up here. Now don't worry if the actual position of your notes are not perfectly in this symmetry. Okay, some people their second and third notes are directly positioned on the left and right of them. They're not, as you can see here, the second note directly perpendicular to the ding note. And you'll notice that on my handpan, some notes are oval shaped at a slightly different orientation than the others. So it can be inconsistent. However, what is important, you're probably wondering? Well, what's important is that you can reach the second and third note comfortably. So if you can't do this comfortably, then without hitting your handpan with anything but your hand, you could rotate this slightly and have the notes facing you. But for the sake of this simplified handpan notation, it's probably best that you stick to this conventional position of the handpan, whereby the ding is in the middle, as always. The second note is directly perpendicular, as if touching your belly button, and then your other ones come in left, right, left. And your ninth note should be directly at the top. But again, don't worry if they change in terms of symmetry later. As long as you can associate these with those notes, you'll be fine. So what I'll do now is I'll write the actual numbers of the notes. So 1 here, 2 on the bottom, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? Now you'll notice a pattern here. I somehow stumbled across some kind of pattern with this system. I guess that's what's so great about using lines, is with the odd notes, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, what do you notice? They're all on the line, okay? So your left hand, so all odd notes, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, are all on the lines. And then all your even notes, 2, 4, 6, 8, are all between the lines. There's 2 here. I know it hasn't got a line below it, but we will say it's between the line. It's not on a line, so it's between the line, okay? So all the even notes are between the line. And it doesn't stop there. The pattern is that all odd notes are your left hand, okay? And all your right notes, all your even notes are your right hand. So let me just play that again for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, it's always left, right, remember. Now if I just play my left hand, just play the odd notes. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 7, 5, 3, 1. You'll notice it's the ding included and all the notes on the left, okay? If I just play the even notes, 2, 4, 6, 8, 8, 6, 4, 2. They're all on the right. So already you've got a system where you can read and you can immediately interpret their position based on whether they're on a line or not, and also based on whether they're on a line or not, whether you should use your left or your right hand. So I'll write it here. All these on the left, all these line notes are your left hand, and all these space notes, I'll draw them here as well, are your right hand. Okay? So that's quite a simple way now to be able to interpret sheet music for the handpan in what I'm calling simplified handpan. Write it here. Handpan notation In other words, SHN, and I did do a pre-check on this, it means stay at home, so I suppose that's particularly relevant at now, around now. So if you're staying at home, learn some simplified handpan notation and get used to this. And I reckon it's quite simple to get used to. In fact, I just taught an 8-year-old how to do it last week, and I'm already writing notes on the staves like this. And she's you know, with a little bit of practice, she's been able to actually understand where the notes from the sheet music are on the handpan. So we won't end this lesson there. We'll actually just give you a little bit of an example. Let's keep that up there for the sake of letting you take that in. And we'll draw some 5 new staves here. Okay? Now, we're not going to draw the handpan on every piece of sheet music we write. In fact, I'm not sure software will allow us to. But even still, the point is that you're not going to see this every time. You're going to be able to interpret the lines and the notes and know immediately where they are on the handpan. So, let's do this. This is your traditional 5 staves. This little symbol here I've drawn is a clef. It's not too important. It's definitely not relevant to simplified handpan notation because the clef indicates which notes mean what on which line. So there's different clefs for each instrument category. I'm just going to put a treble there because typically a treble clef is used for higher voiced, meaning higher pitched instruments or moderately pitched instruments. And the handpan is not too high, it's definitely not too low, so we're going to stick it, I'm going to use the treble clef anyway. And then we're going to put 4/4, which is a reference of the rhythms that you're using and the time you should be counting. Okay, not the speed, it's not the tempo, it's to do with the rhythm and how many beats you should be playing in that bar. Okay, tempo is normally marked up here. Again, there's a lot of info you're having to take in here. You don't have to take in all of it. You'll come across this later. But this normally gives you an indication of the tempo. Okay, that's 60 beats per minute. It's not just a beat actually. This is a little rhythm which will cross, will cross over later. Okay, you can come back to that later. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to draw 4 notes. I'm going to draw them on the middle line. Now they're on the middle line, so which note of the handpan is on the middle line? That's the ding. Notice I've circled it here, and I haven't here. And the point of that is, and I should have made this point earlier, of course, all these notes are ordered on the staves based on how you see them on the handpan here. And all of them are actually ordered from lowest pitch to highest pitch, from bottom to top, with the exception of the ding. The ding obviously is the lowest note. It's the bass note, and the bass note should be the lowest part of the staves if we were writing it relative to their pitches, but we're not, we're doing it visually. Okay, so I've circled it here as an exception. Later in the series we're going to get used to bringing that down to where it should be. Okay, but for the sake of learning the handpan visually right now, we're just going to keep the ding in the middle. So what I've written is 4 ding notes, okay? Notes for the ding. And it's time you understand the purpose of these stems. A stem is basically a line which you stick on a note. So here they're just drawn on a note. Here you've just got the black notes, and those don't actually represent any kind of sense of time duration. Whereas when you put a stem on them, immediately you're told what kind of duration is given for each note. So this particular note in the UK is called a crotchet. Okay, it's a black note with a stem. Now in the US, maybe in Canada as well, you call it, I'm pretty sure you call it a 1-beat note. So it's a lot more mathematical, which I agree is a lot more memorable. In the UK, we've got these technical terms. I think they've just developed from other technical terms in Europe. So you can remember them and their names however you like. However, a black note with a stem, a straight stem, is a crotchet, okay, or a 1 beat. It lasts for 1 beat, okay. So I'll write both names here: crotchet, 1 beat, okay. And now we've got 4 of those here. Now I'll talk about the signature in a later lesson, but all that's important to know right now is there's 4 beats. So if the tempo was 60 beats per minute, which is a click every second, what we'd be asking you to do, what the music is asking you to do, is play a ding note every click, okay? Okay? If I count you in 3 and 4, and you'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'd use both hands, 3, 4, 1, and right now we're doing right, left, right, left. Does it matter which hand you're using? Not necessarily. In fact, it's important that you try to use different combinations of your hands. So right now we were just doing right, left, which is good practice for anyone who's right-handed. You're really going to strengthen your right hand there and get used to hitting the first beat with your right hand. And a lot of us will be very good at that. However, a lot of people, unless you're left-handed, won't be used to starting with your left hand. Now I'm going to say now it's just as important to practice doing these rhythms starting with the first beat with your left hand as much as it is with your right hand. So we're going to practice this actually starting with the left hand. So if I count you in 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you know what you're counting? We're counting the beats here. So let me just rub out that crotchet slightly. Right? Still got a straight stem, okay? That stem can be as long or as short as you like. I mean, typically it's it's around there for a sensible length. But if it's straight, directly straight, then it's a crotchet, a 1 beat note. Now, just ignore the crotchet for now. Maybe that will be confusing. I'll rub it out, okay? You can always rewind, go back to check that out. Beat 1, 2, 3, 4. And I've drawn left, right, left, left by accident. Or was it intentional? Let's have a go. Left, right, left, 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 right, left, 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 right, left, left. And I think that's quite a good practice actually to strengthen your left hand if your left hand is weaker, okay? If you're a left-handed player, or your handpan is not a left-handed but a right-handed handpan, then try to vary it yourself anyway to practice both hands. That is a good introduction into playing the handpan on sheet music. But before we go, let's just try to make this a little more interesting, okay? We've got 9 notes, so there's no point just practicing with 1 note, okay? Let's stick a note here. Let's stick a note up here. All right, hang on. That's 6, yeah, we can use that. Okay? And we'll go back to the ding, okay? So what are these notes? Let's have a look. We've got the ding note, because that's in the middle. We've got a note on the second line. Now what is that? How do you work out the notes? Well, you can, if you wanted to, count from the space at the bottom, which we know is a 2. We know that the first line is a 3. We know that the second space is a 4. And then you could count, oh, that's 5 on that second line. Or you can count them just using the odd and even number rule, whereby every line is an odd number. So if you know the bottom line is a 3, just count up in odd numbers up the lines, and you'll work out what the number of the note is on that line. 3, 5, okay? Now remember, with the middle line is the exception, because that is the ding, okay? Otherwise, you're looking at 3, 5, 7, 9, okay? First note, third note, fifth note, seventh note, ninth note, okay? So now we know that is the fifth note, that's the first note. What's this? Well, we know that line is a 7, we know that line is 1. What's 1 below 7? 6, okay? And that there is the ding again. So how would we play this? Now there's no markings of what hand we should use, so right now we just need to get the notes right. So let's get the notes right. We've got the ding, the fifth note. Now how do you find that in the handpan? You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you can remember that the first note perpendicular, what should be, according to the position of the handpan on your lap or your stand, we know that the second note is the second note, is right here, directly perpendicular, closest to your belly button. So with that said, if we know this is 2, we know that the next one is 3 on the left. So you don't have to then count up the whole scale to work out where 6, 5 or 7 is. You can work out if that's 3, then the next note on the left, directly on the left, is going to be 5, because you count up in odd numbers. 3, 5, 7, 9. And remember on the right it's 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, 3, 1, 3, 6. Sorry. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. 2, 4, 6, 8. Again. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay? Where's 5? So you know that's 3 because that's 2. It's going to be here, 5. Okay? So we've got the ding, we've got 5, so 1, 5, 6. Well, if we know 5 is there, 6 is going to be the next one up on the right. So that's 6, okay? And then we're back to the ding again. So we're being asked to play ding, 1, 5, 6, 1. Okay? So this is a little more interesting than just, your 4 crotchet, 1 beat dings. This is now. Notice what I'm doing with my hands there. I'm choosing to go right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. That just happens to be convenient for us because we don't really, if we want to be comfortable, we don't really want to be doing 2 notes at once. And we'll cover that in later lessons, how to do 2 notes at once with 1 hand. But right now it's just right, left, right, left. So 1, which is a right, 5, which is a left, 6, which is a right, 1, which is a left. Okay, remember tempo, 60 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 5, 6, 1. Again, 1, 5, 6, 1. Why did you repeat? Well, I told you to repeat. But if the music wants you to repeat, what they'll do is they'll draw this little symbol at the start and the beginning, and this will mean go back to that original symbol. So you know if you get to this point you need to go back and do it again. How many times do you repeat? Normally if this is an original piece of music you just do it once, you just repeat once, and then once you get here you carry on. But in this context we're just going to keep repeating. Okay, 3 and 4 and 1, 5, 6, 1, 1, 5, 6, 1, 1, 5, 6, 1. Remember it's right, left, okay? Now that is a little melody in itself. If you've got this far, lesson 1, you've mastered a little melody. Hopefully you're making a conscious effort to get your touch technique really fine, getting that rich sound. And you're playing not too fast. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be speeding up. Oh, I've got to get this sound, got to get it. You're not going to get there if you're rushing. Make sure that tempo is solid. Download that tempo app now. Just go on the App Store, iOS or Android Play Store. Metronome, free metronome. Click download. If your Wi-Fi is better than mine, which it probably is, you'll get it in 2 seconds. click 60 beats per minute, have that click going in the background. It's annoying, but if you do that, I don't know, 5 hours of practice time in however amount of time you want to do it, you'll start to get used to playing to a solid click, and that's favourable of any musician to be able to play in time, especially as a percussionist. It's going to help you with your practice as well. Okay, so make sure you understand that. Make sure you're remembering the hand positions, and you're keeping your tempo, and you're getting that touch technique, the sound. Okay, check out the practice material. There's going to be plenty for you to practice, and you should be enjoying this. If you really want to start making, if you're really getting good at it, start making your own little melodies, okay? And use the same logic, okay? So there you go. Check out the practice material, and we'll see you at the next lesson. Thank you.